I wrote 6 Lies in an intermediate fiction workshop led by Professor Reisman. It is the second of 2 stories that I submitted for the class, and there was no real assignment guidelines other than page count and that it had to be fiction. 6 Lies is a story that is based on a fact that a friend told me about cats. I was kind of just playing around with how people would react and deal with that fact in their lives. This story went through a lot of revisions. It was initially written in first person from the point of view of the therapist, who is not one of the major characters in the story. I thought that she would be a good person to hear 6 Lies from, because then the reader would find out information about the main characters at the same time as her, but the story became very confusing, really because its narrator was confused. So then I switched it to a third-person story, but I felt like a lot of the mystery surrounding the main character of 6 Lies disappeared when there was a more objective narrator. The point of 6 Lies was supposed to be about the fact that I had learned about cats, and through a third person, it was inherently less focused on the non-human aspects of the story. So I finally wrote 6 Lies in second person, which is the point of view that it now remains in. Through second person, I felt like I was able to keep that mystery that I wanted about where exactly the story was going, while also staying very objective in how I relayed facts to readers. I was also able to really emphasize the cats in the story, which can hopefully be shown through the fact that they are the only characters given names. I had 2 goals when writing 6 Lies. The first was to create a space where the reader felt like they were figuring out exactly what was happening in the story, and the second was for a reader to be able to look back and realize that they had the clues to understand what was happening the whole time. I added in very subtle references to Mocha and the ending of the story throughout. Some examples of that are on page 10, when I wrote that Mocha was her least favorite dead cat, or writing that the narrator's parents were murdered, which is on page 3. There are countless other tiny details like that, which on a second or third read would really cue in the reader to the fact that the narrator understood everything that was going on the whole time. In the same way, I used small details to try to show that the narrator had changed, such as saying that she now owned window locks on page 14, or the fact that the 6th and final lie she tells, she verbally corrects herself and tells the truth right after, which is something she does not do with the first 5. Weaving in lots of tiny details in a concise way is not normally how I write, and I think it was because of my process and how much I developed these characters and other points of view that I was able to embed a sort of magical realism into the story and get it to accomplish exactly what I wanted. It took me a very long time to get to this version, and I really hope that you enjoyed 6 Lies.